presents Freshlight, where we bring fresh newspaper headlines to the limelight. Mondays to Saturdays, 8:30 a.m. to 9 a.m. on Al-IyamoyeTv and radio. Watch, like, subscribe, and make sure your notification is activated on our YouTube channel. You can also like and comment on our pages on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Al-IyamoyeTV and radio.
Yes, good morning. Welcome to Freshlight on Al-IyamoyeTv and radio. It is a beautiful morning here. It is the 8th day of the month. Am I running? It's the 8th day, truly. Wow. It's the 6th day. 6th day of the month of July 2023. And I say welcome to this episode of Freshlight, where we'll save you the stress of going through those newspaper pages of your choice. This morning, we will be coming with The Nation, Daily Trust, and Punch newspaper. I am OLUWAFISAYOMI, AJIBOLA. Do yourself that good to pop up the volume and let's do this together this morning. Let's start with Daily Trust. On Daily Trust, you will see these headlines. Tinubu meets Adamu, Omishore resolves rift over principal officers. It has riders like endorses Akpabio, Abbas reactions. Issue laid to rest, it's a family affair, national chairman. Presidency men unhappy with chair. It's not about Adamu's but North as governor. Dismissal from APC, Guje appeals judgment, 5 stay of execution. Subsidy removal, Kwara reverses to 5 working days. Furore persists in aviation agency over new directorates. Forgery. Mesoma makes U-turn. Admits scoring 249 in JAMB. These and many more is what you will see on the headlines of Daily Trust. Going into the newspaper in details, let's start with this. Rivers PDP. 4th EU report on Wike. Rivers State chapters of the People's Democratic Party (PDP) has condemned the European Union report on former governor of Rivers State Nyesom Wike. The European Union, in its report, accused the former governor of stopping over political parties in the state from carrying out their campaign. The party, in a statement issued in Port Harcourt on Wednesday by the former spokesman of the PDP campaign council, Chief Ogbonna Nwuke, expressed surprise that the EU could indict the former governor without verifying its findings. Details of that story can be found on Daily Trust with the headline, Rivers PDP 4th EU report on Wike. Going to these national principals officers, we follow due process, Senate Minority Caucus. The Senate Minority Caucus has defended the procedure it adopted for the emergence of principal officers of the opposition parties. Senate President Godswill Akpabio had on Tuesday named the minority leader without the input of the PDP, the major opposition party in the Red Chamber. He named Senator Simon Nwadekwan, PDP Plateau, as Senate Minority Leader, and Senator Oyewumi Olalere, PDP, as Deputy. Other minority principal officers announced are Darlington Uwokeocha, LP Abia, as Minority Whip, and Rufai Anga, NNPP Kano, as Deputy Minority Whip. Details of that developing story can be found on Daily Trust. It has the headline, NAN's principal officers will follow due process, Senate Minority Leader Caucus. Going to the eastern part of Nigeria, Imo governorship, AA candidate Ogwewe promises issue-based campaign. Ahead of the November 11, 2023 Imo governorship election, the candidate of Action Alliance, AA Major General Lincoln Ogunwewe, retired, has promised to carry out his campaign based on issues bordering the state. Ogunwewe said this in an interaction with a UK-based journalist during his strategic consultation with Imo people in the diaspora. He noted that his campaign will be rancor-free and focus on issues of political interest that will spur Imo people to line up behind him and give him their votes. Imo governorship, AA candidate Ogunwewe promises issue-based campaign that is available on Daily Trust. Tinubu APC to file final address July 17. President Bola Tinubu and the All Progressive Congress APC will file their written addresses at the Presidential Election Petition Court on July 19 after closing their case. A 5-member panel of judges led by Justice Aruna Samani granted Tinubu another 10 days from Wednesday to file their written addresses on the petitions against Obi and LP and PDP and Atiku. The court also granted the petitioner PDP and LP 7 days to reply, while the respondent Tinubu and APC are given 5 days to further reply on points of law. Tinubu APC to file final address July 17. That also can be found on Daily Trust newspaper. Going to the last story on Daily Trust, let's quickly look at this story. 2023 polls, you were invited to observe, not to investigate, Keyamo tells EU. Former Minister of State for Labour and Employment, Mr. Festus Keyamo, has reacted to the final report of the 2023 election submitted by the European Union, EU, which indicted him for allegedly engaging in fake news. EU, in its report, mentioned Keyamo alongside the former aviation minister, Mr. Femi Fani-Kayode, peddled false news during the 2023 elections campaign as both among some of the spokesmen for the then presidential candidate of All Progressive Congress, APC, Bola Tinubu, who is now the president. Reacting to the report, Keyamo faulted the union for delving into the investigation as he maintained that it was not invited for the primary purpose of observing, and reporting, raising other issues in criticizing the EU. To get response to that EU report, log on to dailytrustng.com, where you will read online 2023 polls you were invited to observe, not investigate, Keyamo tells EU. Okay, moving on to another newspaper. Let's quickly look at what we have on The Nation newspaper this morning. On The Nation newspaper, let's look what we have as the cover page. On the cover of The Nation newspaper, you will see this. Disco intensify efforts for electricity tariffs hike approval. It has the rider distributions companies weighing options of greater increase in what consumers pay. Obi not LP member when nominated, Tinubu tells tribunal. President meet Adamu Omishore. Work stalled on 24 billion Oshogbo Iwo-Ibadan Road. On page 7 of The Nation newspaper, you will see that. UTM FLNG to build 1.5 million tons of floating gas plant. AIM May 2 visit Tinubu, okays president's reform. And the JAMB result row, why Mesoma was bad. 6 profs to probe result forgery. I got an SMS that I scored 249. Rep stays action until probe ends. These are riders to the JAMB result story available on the cover page of The Nation newspaper. Let's quickly start with the lead story of The Nation newspaper. Disco intensify effort for electricity tariff hike approval. Okay, let's see what we have on that story. Okay. On that page, there is no respite yet for electricity consumers, with distribution company Disco still pushing ahead with their bid for federal government approval to raise the tariffs. Last week, the National Electricity Regulator Commission (NERC) altered the 40% tariff hike planned by the Disco following an outcry by Nigerians who are reeling under the effect of petrol subsidy withdrawal. NERC's actions came after some of the discos notified consumers of increased tariffs. It was learned yesterday that the disco are billed to meet with NERC in Abuja next week. Discos intensify efforts for electricity tariffs hike approval. That is on the Nation newspaper. Okay, also on the Nation newspaper, Senate Minority Leader will build Freshlight opposition. The 6 minority parties in the 10th Senate yesterday defended their choice of principal officers. They said their decisions were in line with relevant provisions of the Constitution and the standing rules of the Senate. Minority Leader Simon Nwadkwon, PDP Plateau North, also promised a Freshlight opposition that will ensure total delivery of democratic dividends to the people. Nwadkwon stated this yesterday while briefing reporters after a meeting of opposition lawmakers. Senate Minority Leader would build Freshlight oppositions. That is available on the Nation newspaper. Also on the Nation newspaper, Obi not LP member when nominated, Tinubu tells tribunal. It has this rider, President, APC lawyers tender Labour Party membership register, close defense. The Presidential Elections Petition Court, PEPC, yesterday aired that Labour Party LP candidate in the February 25 poll, Peter Obi, was not a member when he was nominated. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu told the tribunal that Obi's name is not on the party's membership register submitted to the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC). Senate Majority Leader Opeyemi Bamidele testified as the sole witness of President Tinubu and Vice President Kassim Shettima in their defense of the petition by Obi and LP. Obi not LP member when nominated, Tinubu tells tribunal. It's becoming interesting with this development. Okay, let's also look at further stories that we have on the Nation newspaper. APC North American gives Tinubu's kudos for performance in first month. Okay, let's look at this. APC North America gives Tinubu kudos for performance in first month. North American chapters of All Progressive Congress (APC) has given President Bola Tinubu kudos for performing well in his first month in office. The party, in a statement by Chairman and Secretary Olalekan Sani and Adeniyi Adekola, said Tinubu has demonstrated a sound understanding of solutions to the challenges confronting Nigerians, as well as the will to tackle them. The party said the steps taken by Tinubu showed his preparedness for the presidency and a sound understanding of it. APC North America hailed the president for announcing fuel subsidy removal, unifications of foreign exchange rate, and appointment of round pegs in round holes. APC North America gives Tinubu kudos for performance in first month. Also, Nigeria missing from new list of malaria vaccines beneficiaries. 9 more African countries are to receive 18 million doses of the first ever RTS/AS01 malaria vaccine. But Nigeria, which accounts for an estimated of 38.4% of global malaria death in children aged under 5 years, is not among the 9 that will from the last quarter of this year begin to have access to the vaccine. The countries listed by Gavi Vaccine Alliance, World Health Organization (WHO), and UNICEF are Benin Republic, Burkina Faso, Burundi, Cameroon, Democratic Republic of Congo, Niger Republic, Liberia, Sierra Leone, and Uganda. Gavi, WHO, and UNICEF explained in a joint statement yesterday that the beneficiaries will begin the rollout by early 2024. The vaccines are already in use in 3 other African countries, being Ghana, Kenya, and Malawi. Details of that story is on The Nation. Nigeria missing from new list of malaria vaccine beneficiaries. Wow. Giant of Africa, indeed, you will say. Okay, let's go for a commercial break. When we'll come back, we'll come to the rest of the story on The Nation newspaper and also pick the last paper for the day, which is the Punch newspaper. Do stay with us.
Thousands have been disappointed severally in their bid to seek greener pasture abroad. To those quack in the traveling agency business, it is a rocket science. That is not our case at Tausaf Travels and Tours. We have in-depth details on how to successfully, without stress, help you process and secure your visa to anywhere in the world. Do you want permanent residential visa, visiting and tourism visa, student visa to places like Europe, America, Asia, Africa? It's no big deal to us at Tausaf Travels and Tours. Our years of experience and expertise speaks volume for us. Let's process and secure visa for you to UK, USA, and Canada within a twinkle of an eye. We offer Hajj and Umrah services to our Muslim faithfuls. What are you waiting for? Consult us at number 9 Tausaf Central Mall, Sholanke Street, behind Laroy Hotel, Abiola Way, Abeokuta. 0802 733 0900 or 0806 578 4060. Stop wasting money. Pay for peace of mind. Talk to Tausaf Travels and
gbogbo aláfẹ́ tó fẹ́ wọṣọ yìí ṣoge tó pàgbàmù ló ń kọjá lọ sí House of Zayana. House of Zayana, the name I know when we talk of top-notch fashion, quality materials and class. House of Zayana lẹ́tí máa rójúlówó Turkey wears, Egypt and Malaysia clothing, dual bags lóríṣiríṣi, àwọn ìtẹ̀lẹ̀ bàtà tó jiná tí wọ́n fawọ́ original ṣe, àwọn aago kájọ́ tó ń ka wákàtí ọjọ́, designer sun perfumes pẹ̀lú àwọn gbogbo nǹkan ìrìn àsìkò fi ń gbafẹ́ ló gbà. Ẹ̀bẹ̀ ojú mi ń ṣe kámi. Èmi ni ó rà, èmi ni ó mú. Gbogbo ẹ̀yin mùsùlùmí ẹlẹ́sìn tẹ́ gbòógì gbọ́n pa fashion tẹ́ wá nílò jàlábíà, hijab àti àbáyà lóríṣiríṣi. House of Zayana ní gbogbo ẹ̀rà. House of Zayana wà ní 52 Ọlọ́run ṣògo road adjacent Redeemed Church Agape Parish. Lórí Instagram House of Zayana 081 656818. House of Zayana. Ilé ìtajà tá a ti kan aṣaralóge tí ń gbéni ní.
Welcome back to Freshlight on Al-IyamoyeTv and radio. It gladdens our hearts that you're still out there listening and watching us. It's still Freshlight, and let's quickly take the last 2 stories we have on The Nation newspaper before moving ahead. Don't forget that you can do us that good by sharing our content as you are watching. Also, you can get to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Al-IyamoyeTv, and also click the notification button. Always rate our videos the moment they pop up when you are watching our videos. You can also be our guest on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Also on TikTok, we are there. We are here to serve you so better. Now I'm coming to The Nation newspaper. Why Tinubu should prioritize security economy by group. Writers under the auspices of the Nigerian Centers of Pen International PEN Nigeria have tasked the AJIBOLA Tinubu-led administration on the need to improve the security situation in the country as well as the economic recession. The group lamented that the rising wave of terror attacks has made it extremely difficult for writers in particular to interact physically with other members of the literary community across the country. It also said many farmers now dread going to their farms because of insecurity, which is a threat to food security. Why Tinubu should prioritize security economy by group. Lastly, on the Nation newspaper, we are ready to engage in bipartisan politics, say LP lawmakers. 2 Labour Party members of the House of Representatives from the Enugu State, Chimaobi Atu and Professor Paul Nnamchi, have indicated that they are ready to engage in bipartisan process that will serve the constituents and the country. The lawmaker also assured their various constituencies that their votes for them during the just concluded general elections would not be in vain. The lawmaker spoke at separate post-inauguration Thanksgiving and reception ceremonies organized by their constituency at the Community Primary School, Ugwaji, Enugu South Local Government, and Community Primary School, Akonike, Enugu East Local Government. We are ready to engage in bipartisan politics, says LP lawmakers. We'll move to the Punch newspaper. Going to the Punch newspaper, we'll start with the cover stories on Punch newspaper. Flood alert. States order evacuations as FG issues disaster warning. That is available on page 2, and it has riders like Nema warns of massive flood in Kano, Delta, Kebbi, Plateau 10 orders. Akwa Ibom, Delta, other residents demand alternative shelters. Lagos Killer Corp dismissed for shooting generator repair dead. Nigeria export 23 billion naira electricity. Local consumers lament outage. Telecom investment eats $75 billion. FG subscriptions now 60,000 naira. NCC. Tinubu not indicted over forfeited $460,000. Bamidele tells tribunal. These are among the cover stories on Punch newspaper. Let's start with the leading story. Flood alert, state order evacuation as FG issues disaster warning. State government have directed residents living around floodplains and erosion spots to vacate their danger zones before it is too late. The advisory is coming against the backdrop of the heavy rainfall predicted for July in some states, even as the federal government also sounded a warning to citizens living near natural waterways, floodplains, and erosion spots. In a statement on Wednesday, the National Emergency Management Agency warned that 14 states and 31 communities might witness heavy rainfall that could lead to flooding from July 4 to July 8. Flood alert, states order evacuation as FG issues disaster warning. The Punch is reporting that Gaduje's dollar bribery video not doctor, forensic analysis. A forensic analysis has declared that the content of the 2027 viral video, which captured former governor of Kano State, Abdullahi Umar Ganduje, allegedly receiving bundles of dollars notes as a bribe from a contractor and stuffing them in his flowing dress, was not doctored but real video. Chairman of the Kano State Public Complaint and Anti-Corruption Commission, Muiyiri Magindo, made this known on Wednesday during a one-day public dialogue on anti-corruption crusade in Kano, stating that the authenticity of the video has been confirmed. According to Rimagindo, since the release of the video, he had been pressured from all quarters to either prove the embattled governors innocent or guilty. Ganduje's dollar bribery video not doctored, forensic analysis. Okay, let's look quickly at these. Principal officers, National Assembly crisis splits, APC and WC, Adamu meets Tinubu. The emergence of the National Assembly principal officers has caused a split in the National Working Committee of All Progressive Congress. The development was sequel to the decision of the APC National Chairman Abdullahi Adamu, who faulted the process that led to the selections of the principal officers. As part of effort to resolve the crisis, Adamu, alongside the National Secretary of the party, Iyola Omishore, met Tinubu on Wednesday. The Senate President, Godswill Akpabio, and on Tuesday announced Senator Okoyemi Bamidele as the majority leader, Senator Dave Umahi Ebonyi South as deputy majority leader, Ali Ndume, Borno South, as Chief Whip, and Lola Ashiru, Kwara South, as the Deputy Whip. Principal Officers, National Assembly Crisis Split APC, NWC, Adamu meets Tinubu. Let's quickly go to the Metro page of Punch newspaper. Blind man defiles 13-year-old girl in Lagos. An Ikeja sexual offense and domestic violence court in Lagos State on Wednesday remanded a visually impaired man, Francis Ugachukwu, to the Kirikiri Correctional Center for allegedly defiling a 13-year-old girl in the state. Justice Abiola Sholadoye remanded Ugachukwu pending the hearing and filing of a bail condition. The defendant was arraigned on one-count charge of defilement. The State Prosecution Counsel, AJIBOLA Bolade, told the court that the defendant committed the offense sometime in November 2022 at number 16 Karim Giwa Street, Abule Osun, Ojo, Lagos State. According to the prosecutor, the offense contravenes Section 137 of the Criminal Laws of Lagos State 2015. Blind man defiles 13-year-old girl in Lagos. It's available on the Metro page of Punch newspaper. Lastly, on the Punch Metro page, sit at home, gunmen attack traders, burn police van in Ebonyi. Gunmen on Tuesday set ablaze a police van at Ugbo community in Ahachukwu local government area of Ebonyi State. The action by the gunmen was said to be part of plans to enforce compliance to the one-week sit-at-home order declared by a splinter group of the indigenous people of Biafra. The attackers were said to have stormed a police checkpoint in the area and other policemen on duty to leave the scene while they set the van ablaze. Sit at home, gunmen attack traders, burn police van in Ebonyi. And going to sports, lastly, on Freshlight this morning, we look at two stories on Freshlight before calling it a wrap. Barcelona signed Martinez from Bilbao. Barcelona confirmed the arrival of defender Inigo Martinez on the free transfer on Wednesday at the end of the Athletic Bilbao contract. The signing of the 32-year-old centre-back, Spain international, on a contract 2025 continues the Catalans' recent policy of hiring experienced players at zero transfer cost. To read details of the transfer story, pick up a copy of Punch newspaper. The last story today is Iwobi set for Everton's stay. Midfielder Alex Iwobi looks set to remain at Everton for the forthcoming season after his father Chuka dropped a hint about his future. Iwobi, whose contract expires in the summer of 2024, was part of the players who modeled the new Everton kit for the new campaign. New season, new kit, good luck son, Chuka wrote on Facebook. The Toffees had tabled a contract offer for the Nigerian, but he was reluctant to make a decision until Everton's Premier League status was confirmed. Iwobi set for Everton's stay. That is also on the sport page of Punch newspaper. Thank you for being part of the program this morning. Freshlight is always here to interest you, to excite you about what is happening in and around our great country, Nigeria. Join us the same time tomorrow. Let's get to do this together as we'll be bringing to the fore newspaper headlines of your interest. I remain OLUWAFISAYOMI, AJIBOLA, and do continue to stay on to Al-IyamoyeTv and radio.